Hey guys, so I want to show you how I set up my trades for the week. What do I look for? What are some potentially good trade opportunities? How I filter out the currency pairs out there, because there's a lot of pairs out there. There's so many to choose from. I focus on the majors and the crosses. I don't look at the exotics. They're way too volatile. Spreads are insane, and also I can't trade them on the broker that I'm using anyway. So I look at the majors, I look at the crosses, and also because that's where the big money is at. Most of the money is flowing in those currencies, so I'd rather focus on that. Filter it out, keep it nice and simple and refined. That's where the quality setups are. That's where you get your best trades, where the big money is flowing, where there's a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume, prices are moving, right? You want to go for those. So what I start with is I go through all the currency or all of the major pairs or major currencies and look at what's trending. That shows me, okay, where is the big money flowing? Which currencies is the power flowing? So I call this the power currencies. I call this the power sort of setup. So I go through each one and see what's trending on the daily, and then I kind of jot it down and make a little table here to show, okay, well, where are the power currencies going? Now, of course, there's tools out there. There's a lot of tools that show, okay, well, where's like heat maps and currency calculators and sort of money flow and all that kind of stuff. And that's great, and they probably work just fine, but I prefer to do this on my own just because it gives me a better feel to see, okay, how are markets moving. It's good practice to understand why and how traders are trading and the market sentiment. And of course you can use those tools, that's fine, but I prefer this. It's just better practice. You get to learn. It's a little bit of a deeper learning that kind of sticks with you, and you get a better understanding rather than just almost blindly relying on a tool. And I have that skepticism side of me saying, okay, what if it's wrong? What if it's not right? I'd rather do this myself. If I was wrong, then it's based off of me, and I kind of have no excuse to be like, well, it was that tool's fault. It was because of that tool that I trusted, because of that. Well, no, if I do this on my own, and if I make a mistake, then it's on me. Then it's like, okay, well, that's because of me. That's because of my analysis. So how can I fix that? Right? So anyways, let's get into it. So I start with the top. So I start at the top. So now we're looking at Aussie CAD. You could see, been looking at this for a while, that it's a clear uptrend. And what I'm using is TradingView. I like TradingView. It's really clean, really nice. Yeah, a lot of the data here is pretty accurate anyways, relative to the broker that I'm using. But yeah, so this is trending nicely onto the upside. So this right here, to me, okay, this is a good trend. Higher highs, higher lows. That's what defines an uptrend: higher highs, higher lows. And a downtrend or bearish market, bearish direction is lower highs, lower lows. It's as simple as that. Obviously, it can be kind of confusing, as you'll see. It can get a little bit complicated, but it really comes down to that. That's what a trend is. You want to go with the trending market, and I prefer the trend just because that's where it's easier to flow with. It's honestly, it's better to make money that way, personally, for me at least. So anyways, Aussie CAD uptrend. And then what I do is I go to Aussie, show that is moving up. CAD is negative, means CAD is weak. So CAD -1, Aussie good. Okay. Aussie Swiss, clear uptrend. You can see nice strong moves up, real strong to the upside. And yeah, so higher highs, we're making higher highs. Okay, we made a new higher high, even though that was a really deep low. We made a higher high after that, so gotta wait and see where the next higher low will be. All right, so and then so yeah, Aussie Swiss. Oops, there we go. Aussie good, Swiss on the -1, so I got that there. Euro Aussie, it's looking a bit choppy, a lot of sideways movement. Yes, we have some strong moves down, but we're nearing this key level here, so a potential pullback. And yeah, so we made a new low, that's great, but want to see where that next higher low will be, right? If it's going to be, how far up will it go? Pound Aussie, we made a new low, so this is more of a downtrend. We made a new low, we breached this area here, major level here, right? It's a key price level where traders reacted. And I want to see now, where are we going to see that next lower high, right? So pound Aussie, that looks good. So what I do, Aussie is, strong, pound is weak. All right, there we go. A little bit of a brain fart there. Aussie yen, So yeah, it has been downtrending. When we see this big move down, we're seeing these guys kind of pull back up, and especially now that we're nearing this key level, this key price level, we could see these sellers come in and push price further down. So this is kind of like sort of like a no-go slash like not sure yet what's going on. We could be consolidating, especially now that we've seen higher lows being made and then we're pushing up, fighting against this grain here. So it's a bit of a battle going on here. So I kind of want to stay out of that. Don't want to be in that one. Over here, nice, clear, nice, decent uptrend. Yes, we've had a big push down. And then the way we're coming back, you can see it's almost like a V shape, right? So almost the same amount of momentum as we're coming up. So I'd focus on what's happening more recently. And more recently, we're seeing some higher highs, higher lows, especially now we saw a higher high. The way we're coming back is pretty decent. So I want to see where that next higher low is going to be. But for now, we got an uptrend on Aussie New Zealand. Okay, so Aussie good, New Zealand -1. All right, let's go to Aussie USD. Very strong uptrend, higher highs, higher lows being made. Can't wait to see where that next higher low is going to be. Potentially, we might get potential, reaction at this level here. Potentially, maybe at this trend line, but want to see the price action there. Don't want to blindly go in and just trade that. So, anyways, especially now, especially since we're nearing this key level here where these sellers have reacted. Want to see if we get that same reaction there. But for now, Aussie's looking strong relative to US dollar. So Aussie strong, USD weak. And what I look for is, okay, so we have how many do we have? 8. So, okay, so 7 excluding the one that we've already had. So I look at the majority of what's trending. So if 4 out of 7 of them show up strong, I color code that and look at, okay, well, that's where the money is flowing. So in this case, a lot of the big money is flowing in Aussie, in the Aussie currency right now. So that's something to note of. That's key information. That's pretty valuable information right there, right? Especially if after looking at all these, you could see a lot of the moves are in one direction for Aussie. It's pretty steady to the upside for Aussie. Next up, we got CAD. So look at CAD Swiss. So right here, you could say it's pretty choppy. We weren't able to make lower lows, right? We're seeing some sideways movement over here. So no trend just yet. In fact, I'm going to take out this line here. I'd probably end up putting a line down here, but it may take a few days, right? This is on the daily, so nothing just yet. EuroCAD, right? So yes, we are trending up. We have trended to the upside, but now we're seeing a bit of a choppy movement, right? So we see the swing, we see this higher high, then we see the next swing. Okay, yeah, we made a higher high, but now we broke below. These guys broke below that higher low. They could react here. In fact, if we quickly go to the 1 hour, we're seeing some reaction. Want to see, okay, where the next low is going to be, where we're going to go from there, right? But we could see at the same time, if you kind of like zoom out a bit and look at it from a bigger picture, we're seeing, especially on the weekly, struggle from on the upside, especially since we're nearing this key level here where traders have reacted there. I'm kind of not really convinced that, okay, that's the end of that pullback and we could see buyers come in. I don't know. I would say, and it's if my intuition or if my mind says I don't know, I'm not even gonna put this on and say like, okay, yeah, we're trending up, but we're kind of nearing some consolidation here. So not quite yet. Here you could argue the same thing. I put it on the upside just because the way we're pulling back is pretty gradual relative to this move up. So yes, we're seeing we saw a higher high, but the way we're coming back, it hasn't really made a lower low yet. It's sort of on the fence of making a higher low, in fact. And we could see a push up, right? Especially relative to this move up and the way we're coming down and then the move up, right? Waiting to see or anticipating these buyers to come in and test this area here. So pound CAD looking pretty solid for the most part. Okay, so CAD is negative, pound is positive. There we go. Okay. Next up, CAD yen. So technically, yes, we're still making lower highs, lower lows, but this is kind of on the edge of being a sort of range movement as well, right? Especially since we're seeing how we're looking at this sort of channel being made. It's very, very kind of choppy. It's on the cusp of potentially rolling over. But for now, we're seeing lower highs, lower lows being made, especially relative to the past. And if we see the weekly, same thing here, right? So we could see these guys come in and push it lower. So I would mark this as still weak for CAD, strong for yen, right? So CAD weak, yen is strong. There we go. Here, kind of similar to what we had with pound CAD, we're seeing some nice up moves. A bit of, we couldn't see a higher high being made, and we're kind of seeing somewhat of a consolidation area over here in this area, but relative to what we saw in the past, we saw a big move up and then down, and then now potentially a move up. So I would still consider this as an uptrend just because we haven't seen any, we're still seeing a potential higher low being made. So this could be a move up, potentially, right? Potentially. So New Zealand CAD, New Zealand negative, or sorry, New Zealand is strong, CAD is weak, right? So yeah, there we go. USD CAD, yeah, I'm going to take this out just because we're nearing this key level here. Yes, we're trending down, but we're nearing this area where potentially these buyers can come in and push price forward further up. In fact, you could argue that we have a potential reversal setup if you want to put in a trade. To need to move it that much, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's the same thing either way. But anyways, yeah, we could see potential reversal, but even then, it's pretty choppy. But you could make some entries, some nice entries at these pullbacks for some real strong gains from real strong swing moves. So wait and see how we look around this level here. But in terms of trend, not much of a trend just yet. Next up, let's look at Swiss. Euro Swiss, yeah, we made a strong move up, right? We made a higher high, made a higher low, but we're not able to make a higher high yet. And then the way we're pulling back though, however, it is pretty gradual. So in terms of potential trade setup, we could see something, but when it comes to trend, not much of a trend just yet, at least. Pound Swiss, clear uptrend here, right? Higher highs, higher lows being made, especially on the more recent area. Potential test right up here, so we'll see. But we could see these traders projecting or taking this trajectory, taking this trade, or taking this price higher. So for now, we got pound strong and Swiss weak. There we go. Okay, over here. Okay, so again, similar to what we saw in was it CAD yen, but you know, lower highs, lower lows being made. So technically, we're still trending down. So I would keep that on there, especially now since we're rolling over. This is potentially a lower high being made, right? So we're still trending down. It's technically a downtrend. Swiss yen. So Swiss is weak, yen is strong. Okay, New Zealand yen, right? Higher highs, higher lows, up move. Let's see if these guys are able to push it up even higher and break above. So New Zealand, Swiss weak, New Zealand strong. Okay, good. USD, this is a lot more gradual, but still seeing lower highs, lower lows being made. A bit of a consolidation around this area. So technically we're still coming down, but we're kind of nearing some really choppy area. So I'm actually going to take this out just because we could see swing. Yes, technically we're on the downtrend, but in terms of trade, you know, I'll put it on because technically, right, we're still there. It doesn't mean we're looking for what's the momentum. Where is the momentum at? Okay, so yeah. USD is actually weaker than Swiss on this one here. Okay. Next up, we got Euro pound. Nothing much going on. Yes, we saw a higher high, but now we just saw a lower high being made, especially relative to this swing. So a bit of a sideways movement, you could argue. So not much of a trend going on yet. Over here, euro yen, yes, if you look at the weekly or longer time frame, yes, we're making lower highs, lower lows, but recently we're able to make a new low. And in fact, we're coming back and testing this area here, or this recent swing. I'm gonna call it a swing. Get confused with highs, higher lows, but with the swing area here. And in fact, you could argue that we're pushing up and coming on a bit of a pullback. So potential trade setup for a reversal, especially from this swing point, and seeing, okay, well, let's see if these guys can push, excuse me, can push further. Okay. But no trend there, especially and including here. Not much of a trend here. A lot of sideways movement. Clear uptrend, right? Nice swings, higher highs, higher lows being made. Euro USD. Okay, it's good. So you can see here so far, not much going on with CAD, Swiss, and Euro, right? They're pretty neutral for the most part. And now let's see pound. Let's see if pound is the same. Okay, so pound yen. Same thing, we couldn't make any new lows, and then we came back down here, we made a new low, and then the way we're pulling back is gradual, but these sellers haven't come in and kicked price lower yet, right? So this could be a range movement, but not sure yet, since we're seeing a bit of a range here. This could be these could be buyers accumulating, waiting to push price up, in fact. But for now, you know, this trend has kind of taken a halt for the time being. This one obviously is pretty dirty, a lot of sideways movement. This one here, yes, we're trending up. So technically we are in an uptrend, but we're nearing a real key level here, especially since we're kind of starting to consolidate, starting to see a bit of a range here. But for now, it's an uptrend. So pound, USD, pound is strong, USD weak. Okay, so pound, again, kind of neutral, not too much going on here. Skip the indices for now. We'll just go into the pairs. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, New Zealand yen, same thing here. A lot of sideways movement, especially since we couldn't make a new low, and we're pushing up and we're testing this high, right? Big long range potential reversal setup. If price looks like it's going to roll over, you could argue that these buyers are pushing up, and again we're pulling back, and we could push up higher. But for now, not much of a trend there. Here, see a downtrend, right? So technically it's a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows being made. See if these guys will make a new low, new lower low. But for now, it's looking like a downtrend. So USD yen, USD is weak, yen is strong. Okay, great. And almost done here on this one. So New Zealand USD, yeah, pretty strong on the upside. We are nearing a key level. A few key levels. We seem to have somewhat past this level, but we have another level here for sellers to potentially bring price down. Now we're seeing a little bit of a consolidation around this area, but for now we're still seeing higher highs, higher lows being made. So New Zealand USD, New Zealand is strong, USD is weak, and that kind of leaves us with USD. So we kind of included all that. So that right there shows where our power is at. So you can see that USD is weak and Aussie is strong for the most part, which tells us that a lot of the traders, or a lot of the big money, is flowing in the US dollar and the Aussie dollar. So that's where I'd focus my trades on. Next, I would look at, okay, well, I color coded these. So I put a green kind of sticker, a green tab on these. Next, I would go to the trending. That created a trending list. I go to that trending list, and since I have my chart here and it shows that USD and Aussie are the power currencies, that's where the money is flowing, I would group all the Aussie pairs and all the USD pairs. I looked at gold USD. In fact, you look at this clear uptrend here, right? So I include this one as well in there, and it's a USD pair, right? Because they're traded in US dollars. So I look at this one, and then next what I look at is, okay, do we have any potential trade setups? And in the next video, I'll show you how I look for those trade setups and what exactly I look for. So anyways, hope this helps and gives you some insight. Cheers.